Hello and welcome to day 326 of the 365-day meditation challenge, where I challenge myself to meditate for 1 hour a day in 2 sessions of 31 minutes. This is session 1, and I want to talk about beliefs because most people get beliefs entirely wrong. They think that beliefs are formed by thinking, by seeing the world. No, beliefs are formed in 3 ways or 4, depending on how you look at it. Beliefs are formed either by a traumatic event, by a circumstance that you find yourself in that's not really traumatic. It can be nice as well. That's the difference between a circumstance and a trauma. It is more likely for the circumstance to be positive, and that can change your beliefs as well. But the third and most important thing that has the most influence over our beliefs is behavior. The part of our brain that holds behavior, that does the behaving part of our life, is the basal ganglia. It doesn't respond to ideas. It doesn't respond to all of these things. It only responds to images and repetitions. You have to understand that if you really truly want to change your beliefs, it is only by changing the behavioral part of your brain. And to do that, you have to overwhelm all of these complex parts of your brain that actually have to do with thinking. You have to overwhelm the thinking mind so much and do so many repetitions that you get down to the behavioral part of your brain and you do a change over there. And what they don't understand, what most people don't understand about the behavioral part of your brain and the formation of beliefs is that we think that we form beliefs because we see out there in the world things, and then we try to make a map of the world, and that's a belief. Sure, that's a very rudimentary way to look at belief formation. But you have to understand that if you really look at belief formation, it is more about behavior and what experience that behavior does and gives us. So you have to understand that once you see this in action, you understand why people cannot change. It is because it's behavior, experience, belief. And they want to change the belief so that they change the behavior and they change the experience. But your belief cannot be held if you do not have the experience. And in order to have the experience, you have to have the behavior. And in order to have the behavior, you actually have to change the executive function of your brain. The part that does the leading, the behaving, everything. The basal ganglia. The part that doesn't respond to ideas and beliefs. That's how you actually change beliefs. Because most people have beliefs that have no influence over their life. They are confused. They think that those ideas that they hold dear, those things that they think are true, those things are their beliefs. But that is completely wrong. Their beliefs are built on the experience that they have of the world. And those things are just ideas. Those other things that they think they're just beautiful ideas that they have that align with their worldview and their actual beliefs. But the point is that a belief is based always in behavior that leads to experience, then leads to belief. Most of them. Not all of them, because some of them are built on trauma or circumstance. You have to understand that it is all about behavior. If you have the set of behaviors and you do them over and over and over again, and you overwhelm your mind with evidence to some sort of a new belief, you will change your entire faith. You will change fate, not faith. Fate, but also faith. Point is that you will actually change your entire life from top to bottom. The way you feel about yourself, the way you feel, even the touch on your own skin, the way you react to everything in life, the way you respond to the things that are good or bad in your life. Everything absolutely changes. Your priorities, everything. Your level of energy, everything changes. Once you go down to the behavioral part of your brain. But in order to get there, you have to go into the realm of thousands of repetitions. That is the only way that you can change the structure and composition of your behavior and your behavioral brain. You have to understand that that is really where the change happens. You have to look at that part of your brain. Not literally, but understand that it doesn't respond. One, it doesn't respond to actual words and ideas. It doesn't respond to beliefs. It doesn't respond to anything. It only responds to repetitions and images. Sure, the image part can be a good trick to do things, but it's often harder to actually do something with it. But most people just stay at this level where they are just in the realm of ideas rather than in the realm of behavior. They cannot understand that in order to truly have an impactful change in their life, something that will radically improve, disproportionately improve their life, they have to go down to the behavior, and they do not understand that. They try to just massage the top layer of their brain, usually just the ideas, just the thoughts. They think that by thinking better things, they will have better outcomes. It is not that. It is not even better habits. Sure, better habits might lead to some extreme change at some point. But in order to actually have a deep identity level change, you have to go into the thousands of repetitions with one singular task. And once you see that change in yourself, you then wonder, how can I change my behavior? How can I change that part of my brain even more? So I gain all of these new superpowers, because that's exactly how you will feel. You will feel like you have new superpowers if you change the behavioral part of your brain. But that is the hardest thing to change. The hardest thing to change, but it affects every aspect of your life. If you make a change there, just 1 degree, everything changes above it. So much so that by the end of it, when you have the thoughts and the ideas, just the smallest things, and that are an expression of your behavior, just that your thoughts and your ideas will be vastly different. They will be so much more different than what you were thinking before, 1,000 miles away. You have to imagine it like your behavior is the first centimeter of a stick that's 1,000 meters, 1,000 miles in the air. And if you move it just 1 degree, that move at the end of the stick is so big that you cannot comprehend the level of change that you will make. But if you go and really go and do thousands of repetitions in multiple directions in your life, you will actually have such big changes that you will start to feel like you have superpowers. That's how crazy it will be. It will be absolutely amazing. But who am I kidding? almost nobody will see this video. And almost nobody will apply this thing. It seems, it feels as if I am almost the only person who actually does this. Well, at least that I know of. Sure, there are other people who are knowledgeable about these ideas, and there are other people who actually do these things. Funny enough, more people who are doing just martial arts or things like that tend to do these things more because they understand what it means to train and what it means to actually go down to the behavioral part of your brain. Once you get that experience, no matter how it is, it changes your life dramatically because you know how to do all of these other things and how to get down into those deep crevices of your brain and really change the structure in there. But of course, most people don't do that because they do not understand that that's what it takes. That is the way to change your life. To be honest, let's talk a little bit about the changes. I've become very self-assured. I not only feel self-assured, but I used to be a little bit annoying. I'm still annoying, but I used to annoy people by trying to change them, by trying to tell them like, look, you should do this because I know better. You should do this because I know better. And it was almost always true. I knew better. But the point is that these people would never change. Until I realized that the only way to change them is to show them overwhelming evidence of something that I'm doing that's super beneficial. Showing them what it takes and just showing them, not telling them that they should do that. No, just lead by example. And I was thinking that I was leading by example, but I wasn't. I was truly not leading by examples. Still, I'm not. And it is funny to realize that all of these things, all of the things that I've definitely just avoided, and not only avoided, but truly narrowly escaped by being fearful. And they hold me back quite a bit, those fears that I had and I still have about success, about everything. Those things about failure, about judgment, about all of these things that most people have fear about. But they dissipated, slowly dissipated into nothingness as I started to develop more and more repetitions. I stopped really caring. I used to say that I don't care what people say and what people think about me. But I do. And now I understand that it is not by stopping that care that you have for what other people think, but it is more about understanding what they are trying to tell you and where does it come from. And yeah, I would say that this entire journey has been amazing. So much so that I'm gonna say something that's a little bit controversial. And it's funny because when people say that, they almost never say anything controversial. But I've been contemplating the fact that even if I'm gonna be a loser for the rest of my life, which I'm currently at, definitely not the worst loser, but I'm definitely a loser. I don't have a lot. I don't do a lot. I don't really have anything of true value. I haven't built anything that's immensely amazing. But because I've gone through this journey of progress, even if something would have happened and everything was gone all of the sudden, I would be okay. And that is a very peaceful thing to think about, because it is the acceptance of that failure and that loneliness and that solitude and whatever it is that you think that it's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Finding a way to be happy and to enjoy life while all of those things are present is something that you will carry with you forever. I finally understood that by doing all of these things, I finally understood that I don't need any of them to be happy. I can be happy right now. It was always in the palm of my hand. The answer was always in the palm of my hand. I can be happy right now. And if I can be happy in such a bad situation, now I'm not really in that bad situation anymore. But 6 or 7 or 8 months ago, I was really in a shitty situation. Not only because I had an accident on a scooter, but also because later on, just a few months later, I almost got blind in my right eye. It's considered by partial blindness. I'm still partially blind in my right eye. I was broke. I was single because I took a celibacy vow for a year. Tomorrow is the last day. And I was alone. I was desperate. I was broke. I was down to my last pennies. I remember buying this mouse and realizing that I shouldn't have bought it because 3 days later, I only had like $40 in my bank account. Sure, I would get more money the next month, but I was broke and I was desperate and I was alone and I was bruised and I was blinded. That period of my life was horrendous. But in just a few days, I was happy. I was just happy with everything, with the silence of my own house, with just breathing, with just meditating, with just filming myself, with everything. Not because anything changed, but because I realized that if I'm not happy right now, I'm never going to be happy. I'm probably never going to be happy because things are going to improve from there on. And they did. And I would have probably never be happy after that, if I didn't understand that in order to be happy, you have to find a way to be happy when things are going badly. Because that guarantees not only that you will be happy if things never improve, but the fact that you will be happy when things will improve as well. It almost always guarantees that you will be happy no matter what. That is such a powerful thing, and most people do not do it. They keep themselves unhappy, and it feels like I am literally speaking to the walls. But it is feeling like this ripple effect that I have is so insignificant. And almost everybody else has more luck than me. I've been doing some things lately that I don't even know why I'm doing them. I'm not questioning those behaviors, but I've been honestly applying for jobs. I don't need a job, but something compels me to apply to jobs. I don't know what it is, but I just get this urge to do so. It is funny because I don't want to get a job. I don't need a job. What I need is to work on my businesses. I don't understand it, to be honest, but yeah, it is interesting to see all of those things, to see this behavior in myself. I have a theory that if I wake up before 11, that's why when I get the bright idea to get a job. And I've been waking up before 11 for the past 2 weeks. It's funny. Anyways, we should also start the beautiful meditation session. I'm gonna respond to someone. And I'm gonna start the beautiful meditation session, the first one of the day, right now. And there you go. The beautiful meditation session is over. The first session of the day. It is wonderful. I feel amazing. And yeah, it is truly a gift to have all of these things. I've never been more happy than right now. And yeah, it is truly interesting to see all of these things changing around me as I change. And also a lot of distractions. 323. I did eat quite a bit of soup. Anyways, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.